Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Adam Kiss Show. Today, I'm very excited to be talking about the movie Roman Holiday. It's one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. I really can't get enough of it. You might not often see it on the list of the greatest movies of all time, particularly because it might have what many people might consider a lighter subject matter. It's kind of somewhat of a rom-com. It has some lighter moments, but it's really a beautiful movie. It's a very touching movie and a very deep movie. So honestly, I think it doesn't get enough credit. But before I get into that, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. If you love all this kind of movie content, things to do with movies, art, life, then this channel is definitely for you. I have a ton of great content coming your way. So give us a subscribe and hit that bell notification and like and comment below what other topics you'd like me to cover, what other videos you'd like me to do. I'm here for you. So the topic of today's conversation is Roman Holiday, directed by William Wyler and written by Dalton Trumbo in an uncredited screenplay. At the time, he was actually under the Hollywood blacklist, so he couldn't be credited for his work, but he majorly contributed to the screenplay for the film. He wrote the screenplay, and he ended up writing several screenplays like Spartacus, so many other great scripts, Exodus, and eventually he did end up breaking the blacklist with Spartacus, I believe, was his first credited film after the Hollywood blacklist, where he was accused of being a communist and kind of blacklisted from working there. That was an entire era of Hollywood that I could probably devote an entire video to. Nonetheless, Roman Holiday is very spectacular for the fact that, and it's very unique for the fact that it was shot on location in Rome. That is something that happens all the time today. But back in those days, for a Hollywood production, that was incredibly rare. Incredibly rare. I believe it was one of the first productions to be entirely filmed on location outside of the US, in Rome, no less. So again, you'll see beautiful sights in the city. That's all real, no green screen there. And obviously it was shot on sets there, I believe. I'm not sure if any of it at all was shot in the US, but again, I'm pretty sure that most of it was shot on location in Italy. And I believe that actually in the actual credits of the film, it mentions that as well. This movie is starring Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn. Now, Gregory Peck was a very established star by that time. He was really king of the hill in Hollywood. He was one of the top people for romantic comedies. I mean, he always joked that he always felt that whenever he got a script for a romantic comedy, it's something that Cary Grant rejected. And he was right. Cary Grant, I think, usually got the top pick of all the scripts. And as with many other scripts, Gregory Peck inherited this role because Cary Grant turned it down. Cary Grant was originally offered this role. He turned it down, I believe, because he felt it was maybe more about the princess, the Audrey Hepburn character. But again, we can't really know. It's really an incredible movie, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did. It ended up being the screen debut of Audrey Hepburn, and it ended up winning her the Oscar. And a funny story about that is that because Gregory Peck was so established, in his contract it was allowed that he would get top billing above the credits alone. So it would be Gregory Peck in Roman Holiday, then introducing Audrey Hepburn. But Gregory Peck actually fought to have Audrey Hepburn above the credits with him. And he said that it wasn't really out of the goodness of his heart. It was just the fact that as filming was progressing, he realized that she would get the Oscar for the part, and he didn't want to look like an idiot with her getting a leading actress Oscar. So that's kind of a funny anecdote that Gregory Peck always told. But honestly, they both gave great performances in this film. It's really one of those timeless films that you don't see today. I wish we saw more films like this. It just has an incredible aura, an incredible feel. It's kind of magical. There's that one moment, which is very famous, when Gregory Peck sticks his hand in the mouth of truth and pretends to get it bit off. When he did that, that was actually just him doing it impromptu. He went up to William Wyler, or Willie, as Gregory Peck calls him in interviews. He went up to William Wyler and he said, why don't I try this thing? And William Wyler said, okay. So he did it, and I believe it was on the first take, and that was Audrey Hepburn's actually her scared reaction. In a similar way, to another rom-com, the movie Pretty Woman with Richard Gere, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. But when he closes the jewelry case on her hand, that was also an unscripted moment, and that was also Julia Roberts' unscripted real-life reaction. So again, those are all great things when they happen in romantic comedies. The story is just a very good, simple story. It's obviously about a reporter played by Peck, who's set to interview the princess, played by Audrey Hepburn. She ends up running away. He recognizes her, and he thinks he has the story of his life. And being with her for the day, writing an article about her, taking pictures. And again, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it's absolutely a heartwarming story. A kind of a bittersweet story, I would say. Definitely touching. And again, I love it. I wish more movies were like this. I definitely think it's really one of the greatest movies ever made. It's in black and white, actually, which I think really adds to it. It was probably done for cost reasons, but I really can't imagine this particular movie in color. I think it really sets the tone in its black and white setting. It's just, there's a lot of great performances, and just the feeling overall is just an incredible feeling to the film. So that's all I've got for Roman Holiday. Again, great film. I love it, and sometimes that's enough. So, before you leave today, be sure to follow me here, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, hit that bell notification so you get notified whenever a new video comes out, and follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all the social media platforms. That's all I've got for today. That's all, folks.